Hey, sixth grade, welcome to your homework review video for the week. We are covering multiplying and dividing decimals. For multiplying decimals, I am going to move a little bit more quickly because we know how to multiply, right? You don't need me to walk you through each step. But as we get into dividing, I am going to slow down and make sure that you understand the placement of the decimal, the movement of the decimal, and how that affects our final answer. But for multiplying decimals, line up your digits, not your decimals. We're going to count them and we're going to throw them to the side, multiply like normal, and then make sure we're putting our decimals in starting at the back. So here comes our first one. We have 1, 2 decimal places. Once I pull them out, what I'm doing is 31 times 62. When I multiply, I get 1922. Again, not 1922 because we need to put our decimals in starting at the back. 1, 2, our answer is 19 and 22 hundredths. Moving along, 1, 2, 3, throw it to the side. Drop that 0 in the beginning because it's not going to change our value, right? Zeros in the beginning we can bump out without having to worry about it changing our answer. 58 times 23 is 1334, reading it like that because the decimal has to go back in. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 334 thousandths. Down to question number 3. Drop those beginning zeros. I don't need them. Count my spaces. 1, 2, 3. Multiplying 73 times 3. Getting 2, 1, 9. Bringing in my decimal. 1, 2, 3. 219 thousandths. Over to here. Drop my 0. 1, 2, 3. 74 times 32. When I multiply, I get 2, 3, 6, 8. Bring my decimal back in. 1, 2, 3, 2 and 368 thousandths. 2 more for this page, moving right along. Drop our beginning zeros. We don't need them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Multiplying 95 times 69. Getting an answer of 6555. Putting our decimals back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6,555 ten thousandths. Last one for this page. I have 1, 2 decimal spaces, multiplying 28 and 37. When I do that, I get 1, 0, 3, 6, 2 decimal spaces starting in the back, 10 and 36 hundredths. That's the end of our first page. If you are not done the next page, please stop there. Otherwise, moving right along, we're continuing to work through multiplying our decimals. Diving right in, I have 1, 2, 3 spaces, multiplying 312 and 18. Notice how I switched them to put the larger number on the top. Remember, with multiplying and adding, they are called reciprocals, which means I can switch the order of the numbers without changing my answer. We know that we cannot do that with subtraction and division. We can with addition and multiplication. Multiply out to get 5616, 3 decimals, starting at the back, 1, 2, 3, 5 and 616 thousandths. Moving along, 1, 2, 3, multiplying 153 and 19, getting 2907 with 3 decimals, 1, 2, 3, 2 and 907 thousandths. 1, 2, multiplying 86 and 56 to get 4816. Bringing down my 2 decimals, 1, 2, 48 and 16 hundredths. Over here, drop that beginning 0. It doesn't matter in this question. 1, 2, 3, multiplying 65 and 98 to get 6370. 3 from the back, 1, 2, 3. You can call this 6 and 37 hundredths, right? The 0 doesn't matter, but if you left it there, you had 6 and 370 thousandths. That would also be correct. All right, 2 more for this page. Coming down here, we have 1 and 2, multiplying 16 and 59, which gives us 944, bringing our 2 decimal spaces back in, 9 and 44 hundredths. Last one, get rid of that first 0, 1, 2, 3. multiplying 139 and 7, giving us 973, bringing it down 1, 2, 3, 973 thousandths. That brings you to the end of page 2. Go ahead and stop the video if that's all you've completed. If not, and you're ready to see your multiplication, hang tight, because here we go. When we're multiplying, things get a little bit stickier, right? We have to really take our time and make sure that we're moving the decimal correctly. If our decimal is only in the house, we put it right up into the answer. If we have a decimal outside, that's the one we need to move. So first number always goes inside the house. The 8 goes outside. The 8 does not have a decimal, which means this decimal goes straight up. Watch when you solve. Does 8 go into 4? No. Put a 0. Does 8 go into 44? Yes. 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract. Get 4. Bring it down. Another 5. Our answer is 55 hundredths. Watch where you're putting your first digit. It is very, very important. Moving over to our next one. We have 1 and 84 hundredths inside with 8 tenths outside. If we move this one space to get it to the end, we move this one space as well. Then it goes up top, okay? So what I'm working with now is this, right? So does 8 go into 1? No. Put the 0. I know it seems funny, but keep yourself lined up. 8 goes into 18 2 times, which gives us 16. Subtract for 2, bring down our 4. 8 goes into 24 3 times. Leaves us with 0. This is 2 and 3 tenths for our answer. Okay. Moving on. We have 9 and 44 hundredths divided by 2 tenths again. Moving the outside decimal to the end requires one move, so I do the same thing inside. Put the decimal straight up. If it helps you to erase these, you can. As long as we make sure we know where our decimal is. Can 9 go into 2? Yes. I'm sorry, can 2 go into 9? Yes, 4 times. Gives us 1, bring down our 4, 2 goes into 14 7 times, which gives us 0, bring down our 4, 2 goes into 4 2 times, 47 and 2 tenths. If you need to pause this and look through it again, please do so. Remember, if you have questions, you can always bring them to class. This one does not have a decimal outside, so we start with our division. Does 2 go into 1? Oh, decimal up in the answer. 2 go into 1? No. Does 2 go into 19? Absolutely 9 times, because 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract and get 1, bring down my 4. 2 goes into 14 7 times. My answer is 97 hundredths. 295 divided by 5. Moving my decimal once and once, putting it up into my answer, erasing if it helps, and then dividing. Does 5 go into 2? No. Does 5 go into 29? Yes, 5 times, which gives me 25. I subtract for 4, bring down my 5. 5 goes into 45 9 times, leaving me 0 remainder, 5 and 9 tenths. Last one for this page, 2 and 44 hundredths divided by 4. No decimal outside, decimal straight up in the answer, putting in our place saving zeros. 4 goes into 2, 0. 4 goes into 24, 6. 6 times 4 is 24, subtract. Bring down, 4 goes into 4 one time, gives us 61 hundredths. That's the end of page 3. Please go ahead and stop unless you're ready to dive right into page 4. If you are, hang on tight, because here we go. Still continuing to divide, but we're going back and forth and multiplying and dividing on this page. So do yourself a favor and make sure you know what you're being asked to do. Because if you get to the end and realize you multiplied instead of divided, or vice versa, you're going to be really frustrated when you have to go back and do them again. I also choose to do my questions in order. So let's start with multiplication, shall we? Moving our decimal, 1, 2, multiplying 12 and 97, getting 1164, 2 decimal spaces, and we move it from the back, 11 and 64 hundredths. Next multiplication, 1, 2, multiplying 86 and 71, getting 6106, moving my decimal from the back, 61 and 6 hundredths. Last multiplication is down here. 1, 2, 3, multiplying 423 and 84, getting 3, 5, 5, 3, 2. Really stretched you on this one, huh, loves? Moving at 3, 35 and 532 thousandths. All right, let's go back to our division. Drawing our house, 6 and 10 hundredths. Outside, 5 tenths. We have to move it 1 to get to the back here, so we move it 1, put it up in our answer. Erase if you'd like, you don't have to. 6 goes into 5, 5 goes into 6 one time. 6 take away 5 is 1, bring down the 1. 5 goes into 11 twice for 10. Again, 5 goes into 10 2 times. Answer is 12 and 2 tenths. Dropping down to our next division problem, which is 4 and 24 hundredths divided by 8. No decimal outside, so decimal right in the answer. 8 goes into 4 0 times. Whoop. Sorry, loves. But it goes into 42 5 times for 40. Subtract for 2, bring down your 4. 8 goes into 24 3 times, 53 hundredths. Last division question right here. 5 and 34 hundredths divided by 6 tenths. Moving our decimal. 6 goes into 53 8 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract. Get 5. Bring down. 6 goes into 54 9 times. 9 times 6 is 54. Leaves us with 0. That brings us to the end of page number 4. If you have any questions, please bring them to class. If you got to the last page, please hang tight because here we go. Again, multiplying and dividing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and make sure that I know what I'm being asked to do because I don't want to do it twice. This time, let's start with division, shall we? 3 decimal 8 0 0 decimal 0 5 2 bumps. 2 bumps. We're dividing 5 into 380 this time, right? And we can erase all this, make it a little easier for your eyes. Putting the decimal place in the back, but we may not need it. Let's see. 5 goes into 3, 0 times. 5 goes into 38, 7 times. 5 times 7 is 35. When I subtract, I have 3, bring down. 5 goes into 36 times. Don't need this decimal, right? Our answer is just whole number 76, but we know with any whole number, it always has a decimal at the end. We might just not have it in place, but we know that it's there. All right, next division question. 5 and 58 hundredths divided by 9. No decimal outside, so it goes right into your answer. 9 does not go into 5, but it goes into 55 6 times. When we multiply, we get 54. We subtract for 1, bring down our 8. 9 goes into 18 2 times. No remainder. The answer is 62 hundredths. And our last division question. 3 and 24 hundredths divided by 9 tenths, moving our decimal, erasing what we don't need. 9 does not go into 3, but it does go into 32 3 times. 9 times 3 is 27, which gives us 5, bring down. 9 goes into 54 6 times, which leaves us with 0. 3 and 6/10. Popping back up for our multiplication to finish off. We have 1, 2, 3. 538 times 6 gives us 3228. Bringing down our decimals, 1, 2, 3. 3 and 228 thousandths. Over here, we have 1, and 1 is 2. 72 times 89. 6408. 2 decimals to bring in. 1, 2. 64 and 800ths. And then the last one for this week, 1, 2. 53 times 17 gives us 901, 2 decimals. 1, 2, 9 and 100th. That brings us to the end. Please go ahead and stop your video now.